Hey, this is Redban, and you're listening to the Death Squad Podcast Network. This episode of Muff Said and all the podcasts of Death Squad can be found on our website, deathsquad.tv. This is a brand new show at Death Squad, so please let us know what you think about it. We decided to go with the name Muff Said. During this episode, we didn't really have a name. Please let us know if you like that name, if you have any ideas or anything. We'd love to hear your feedback. We're trying to design a show that you guys would like, not hate, so let us know. And please help us out financially. If you go to deathsquad.tv, please click on the donation link if you like what we do here. We pay for this whole thing relying 100% on donations, and I'm trying to keep it free for you guys. And now here's a brand new episode of Muff Said. Studios here at the Ice House Comedy Club in Pasadena, California, with a brand new Death Squad podcast. And that's what we were listening to was MC Chris. That was from a guy on YouTube, JCT45, who remixed it with some Ninja Gaiden. I'm here with our host, the beautiful Ryan Keely.
And I am here with the fabulous artist, Dan Panosian.
What's up, hello, guys? Hello. Now, Dan, we just met like a couple minutes ago. You're a comic book artist.
Yeah.
How'd you get into that? Did you go to school for that and everything?
No school. Barely graduated.
Barely graduated.
No. Ever since I was a little kid, I just wanted to work for Marvel Comics and DC Comics. So.
And do you now?
Now I do. All my dreams have come true. I'm done, and now I can die and be happy.
You actually did something that I think most kids, and including myself, grew up drawing Spider-Man and drawing comics, drawing our own comics, and then just thinking, like, wouldn't that be awesome one day to be able to do that? And actually, you are doing it.
Yeah, I was like 14, and I sent my samples into Marvel, and I got all they actually wrote me back.
Wow.
I was like thrilled. That was it. I was an A student, and then I got that letter back, and I was kind of done.
Wow.
What did they say?
They told me about like healthcare plans and how much money you'd be making and everything.
So an encouraging letter.
It was very encouraging. I don't think they knew I was 14 years old.
Wow.
So this is a pilot for a nerd podcast. Yeah. So today we're going to kind of figure out, like, what is this podcast going to be? What is it going to be about? What might it be called?
An exploratory podcast.
Yeah, we got a lot of names on the internet. We don't have a name yet. We were going to call it something like Nerdcast, but that's kind of generic.
Yeah,
and I think
that's lame.
So we asked. So if you guys have any things, just tweet either me or Ryan. And Ryan's at Ryan Keely. That's RyanKeely, and I'm of course Redban, Redban. To send us some names. We got some good ones so far. I like the Warp Zone. Somebody said that. Nerdgasm with a Nerd Herd. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of geeky ones out there. I like Muff Said.
Good.
I like that too. Whoever can we give a prize to whoever like gives us the best name? Because I have prizes to give.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
What are some of these prizes?
I will dig the depths of my porn and comic book collection. Pull some stuff together, like sex toys, porn, comic-y stuff.
Sweet. And you have a lot of comics like this
and a lot of porn.
This is so funny because if you haven't watched a lot of the past Death Squad shows, one thing that we've talked about is when I first went to Ryan's house and how shocked I was when you saw the comic books on the walls. I almost had a nerdgasm right there. And how cool it was. She just has like her own little shelving units like that she bought from a comic book store,
Secret Headquarters redid all of their display racks, and I'm on their mailing list, and so they were like, "Oh, we're gonna sell all of our racks if anyone wants them." They want them, and I bought literally half of the ones that they were selling.
Yeah, the place looks amazing.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I walked in.
It doesn't seem real, right?
Not like a hot girl in a comic book store and in her living room.
Yeah.
It's a little strange.
What's funny is I can't get laid, so my nerd cred is like
What?
running strong. People come
Really?
over, they see my comic book collection, they just come in their pants and like, well,
Yeah,
they're done.
They're done. You kick them out, and you bring the next comic book geek in there. And
I should be charging for that. It's like a massage parlor, but way different.
Now, Ryan, did you grow up reading comics, or is this something you got into later, like with graphic novels, or did you?
I read some comic books growing up. Mostly, my family was too broke for me to afford a lot of comic books. I grew up reading, is what I grew up doing. Like, I spent every single recess in the library. I got beat up for being the weird kid. I'd usually like read my school books and then be reading like other books behind my school books in class. So I'm just like a hardcore bibliophile. Like I'm a nerd, and some of the nerdy stuff I like is like cool nerd stuff, but a lot of it is like, I like to read. Right. Pretty much anything. But my background, I have a very strong background in anime. Like Ranma 1/2 was my favorite cartoon as a kid, which is so messed up. Yeah, the whole concept of Ranma 1/2, if you haven't seen it, it's so it's this young boy and his father are like they train in a school of martial arts, and they go up and they study in this sacred place, and both of them fall into pools of water. And when they fall into the pools of water, they take on spirits of people that live in this water. Ooh. So whenever the guy is splashed with cold water, he turns into like this very hot like redhead girl with big boobs.
Wait a minute,
and his father turns into a panda bear.
Let's go back.
So that's the premise.
Wow. So wait, the guy turns into a hot redhead?
Yes. Yeah, the teenage guy. And he's actually betrothed to a daughter of another martial arts master. And so they go and they live with that family and the girl that he's betrothed to and her two sisters, and hilarity and teenage drama ensues.
Yeah, that's some
a lot of
drama.
Really weird sexual tension.
That is a little peculiar.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it was like from there into like,
And that was your like that's what got you into comics, that type of weirdo comic book?
It was that, and then Tank Girl and Perdita Durango.
Oh, Tank Girl, yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
I was mostly Spider-Man, almost 100% growing up. I did all the like any of the superheroes, the Avengers type shit. Then I got into G.I. Joe because I was younger, and I loved the G.I. Joe comics and the Transformer comics. And then I was Robotech. Then I got into Akira comics, and then I had to pay for an abortion, so I sold my whole entire comic book collection for $300 to Comics and Company in Columbus, Ohio, and I only have saved one comic, and it was my favorite comic, and it was Spider-Man number 300, which was, I believe, the Todd McFarlane thing. And I did have, and it sucks because I had all the McFarlanes. I had the G.I. Joe McFarlane. I had, I think he did Incredible Hulk, if I remember, and then he did, he did it for a while. He really rebooted. He was pretty much responsible for rebooting The Amazing Spider-Man back in the day. And then Eric Larson kind of took over for a while and kind of copied his style almost, which was really interesting because it was very McFarlane-y, but it had his own little kind of twang to it. And then the other shit I got into, I was really into Robotech, the art of Robotech, and so I saved that, and then now I had to rebuy my Akira, but now I just buy them in the huge book. But
see, I'm all about trade. It's trade
quality.
all the way.
He has quality there.
He does.
But that's all I have left, and it's depressing me.
I bet we can like rebuild your collection bit by bit.
Yeah, every week.
Like, don't you have an Amazon wish list? Don't people love you?
I do, but it's for studio. It's not for me. It's more just like, hey, I need a new camera and stuff. Actually, the latest shit I've been getting into now is Adventure Time from Kaboom Comics, which is the worst company ever to try to subscribe to. Like, they have no customer support. I was like, I'm going to subscribe to this comic, and I did cover A and B, which I think was like $140 for a year subscription. I got the first one and haven't heard anything since, and they won't reply. They won't return my emails, return my calls. They won't do shit. But if you're an Adventure Time fan, the art is really well done and the story is really well done, so I recommend that. What are you reading now, Ryan?
What am I reading now? When I came on last week, because 2 weeks ago when I got all confused about you guys saying comics, and I thought you were talking about comic books and not comedians. So I actually finally finished reading. I read. What did I read?
Well, by the way, let's stop there for a second. She came onto a show. I think it was the Ice House Chronicles, and I called her. I was like, "Hey, do you want to hang out with a bunch?"
No, that is not what you sent.
What did I say?
You sent me a text message. You're like, "Hey, do you want to come on? To the? Do you want to come do a podcast with comics?" And that was the whole text message. And I was like, "Yeah, totally." He's like, "Okay, be here this time." And because I spend so much time hanging out with nerds, like my friend Dan over here, and all my other nerd friends. When I think comics, I think comic books.
Right. That's so funny because she brought a little thing of comics, and then like she's like, can we talk about comics now? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And then we kind of like what is that crazy girl talking about? And then later she goes, no, well, so I brought this comic, and she just started talking about comic, and all of these comedians are sitting around like, what?
How did this get involved?
How did this happen?
Yeah. So I did read My Friend Dahmer, which was amazing, which is so good. It's by Bergdorf.
Is like best friend?
Yeah, well, he grew up with Jeffrey Dahmer, and it was like this crazy story about him being friends with Jeffrey Dahmer in high school, but also really going into like the background of like who he was and where all of his like creepy sex dead people fetishes came from.
He had some fetishes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, his whole thing was the thing that he was sexually into from a very early age was dead bodies and masturbating over dead bodies.
Wow.
How does one get into that at a young age? I mean, it's like dead animals, or what is he?
Actually, when he was a kid, he used to find roadkill and then would dissolve the roadkill. His father was a chemist.
Sure. And
worked for like a big chemical company in Ohio, and would
Ohio.
Yeah.
That's
where all the serial killers come from.
That's right.
I'm from Ohio.
Are you really? What part?
Cleveland.
Oh, I'm from Columbus. Cool.
I thought you were from Florida.
No, I grew up in Cleveland. I went to school in Florida.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he used to dissolve like animals in acid and like play with their bones and stuff, and
then jerk off on them.
I don't know about
or
that.
In them.
So gross.
Do you remember the old where you'd like put like something in I think it was a can of Coke, like a frog or something, and you put it in a can of Coke for like a week, and then you take it out and it's a full skeletal system. Like the acid in the Coke just fries off everything and dissolves everything except the bones.
I'm sure this could
yeah. So
in half the time.
So inside us right now,
yeah,
slowly melting.
The power of our stomachs.
So gross. So I'm reading that, and I'm just catching up on The Boys and Scalped, and this new amazing. I like dirty comics. That's like my favorite thing of all time. Like, I think I saw. Well, Ranma 1/2 is bizarre and oddly sexual.
Yeah, very oddly sexual.
Yeah, so I started watching that when I was like 8, and then like Ninja Scroll, and
I
then
love that.
yeah,
everybody loves that one.
Hot rape, monster rape.
Some good. That's some. Are there any tentacles used though?
No, that's Yorosaka Doji. There's that one guy that created tentacle porn who I love.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
it's so great.
It's the best thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
And as whenever I draw, I always find myself even younger before tentacle porn was really out. I used to always draw tits and like tentacles, like snakes and weird. Like a lot of my paintings have like these weird tentacles in it, and I think I was just destined to do tentacle porn. I should really start getting back into that.
You need to come to Drink and Draw. I think you fit right in.
Podcast business.
Yeah, what is it now? You guys do this thing called Drink and Draw. I saw it online, and it's so. I'm addicted to Draw Something right now, which is the worst fucking game to play on an iPhone because it just makes you mad. As like it's hard to draw on.
It's
using
really hard. I mean, maybe if you had an iPad or something.
Yeah.
But on the phone, I tried it the other day.
Yeah.
That guy, is that the same guy who's like sold that company for like 180 million?
I don't know.
It's
he probably
insane.
sold it before it was finished, is what it seems like.
but you're still addicted.
Yeah, it's a good game. I recommend playing it. I recommend playing on iPad. I don't recommend adding me as a friend because unless I know you, I'm just going to delete you because you can only have so many games. Anyways, this is the new iPad 4. Speaking of geekiness, which is actually this is the iPad 3 or 2. This is the iPad 3. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyways, I've only had it for a couple days, but review-wise, the screen resolution is very noticeable. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal until you're actually sitting there looking at both, and there's a huge difference. Weight-wise, the new one does weigh a little bit more. It's a little bit thicker. I don't know if you can tell that or not.
Yeah.
It's a teeny bit thicker. This is also the Verizon one, where I've always thought, why would I want the Verizon on here? You know.
Verizon's way better than AT&T.
Well,
AT&T can suck it.
Well, I meant having any kind of cellular thing in your iPad. I always think like, hey, I'm going to be on Wi-Fi. You know, I'm never going to really need that. But you find yourself using it a lot when you're in your car and you're like, oh shit, I could check my mail right now. I don't have to. So I recommend that actually 3G. I didn't think I would, or the 4G. It's actually 4G now.
I've got the G extra G's on my iPad 3, and I love it. I use it all the time. Actually, it's my favorite thing to do on set or when I'm getting my nails done.
Yeah. Well, when that kind of...
No, when you're getting your nails done, you don't have to like flip through the pages and stuff and smudge it. I just tap. I tap and I change the page.
Now, do you guys read comics on the iPad? Have you got into any of those programs doing that, or do you believe in that?
You know what? I've never read one, and a friend came over, and I wish I remembered the name of it, but it's kind of, I think it'd be right up your alley, Brian. It's kind of a weird, it's like a Dungeons and Dragons, but there's always some kind of like weird porn element or something to it.
Is there monster rape? Because if
there is some monster rape.
I'm sold.
Yeah, there's a significant like amount of monster rape involved.
I have the DC app on my iPad, and I started doing like the New 52 on there because I was like, I'm gonna try to read superhero comics that aren't the boys, and I love Catwoman. I think the new Catwoman's amazing, but I like to read books. Oh. Like so
you like it when they come out with the trade paperback?
Yeah, and I have such a sweet collection. It's like my collection is partially finished. It's like an ongoing work in progress. Like I don't know how many I want to be able to like look at my shelf and be like, read that. Oh. Like it's a visual like affirmation of completeness or something.
What other New 52 ones did you read?
I read Wonder Woman, which I loved the art. I really loved
Chang.
Yeah, so awesome. Good. I thought it was going to be because I really like 100 Bullets, and it's the same writer. It's Brian I can say it's
Azriello.
Azriello, yes. So it's Brian Azriello, and I thought it would be really good, but it was good, but it just didn't suck me in. But that's the thing that I thought the new Batman was amazing. I hated New Superman.
Oh, yeah.
He had so many different. He was like, it was so mushy. Like he had like Peter Parker elements, and they just totally messed with his origin story. I didn't like it at all. But I don't like superhero comics because they're not fucked up enough. Oh. Like they're just a little too family friendly.
What I'm doing is a little.
What are you doing?
It's called GI Combat, and Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray are writing it.
Is it gay at all?
Is it gay at all?
I'm sorry, you got men, muscly men. I'm assuming they're muscly.
This guy is the unknown soldier, so he has bandages all over his face. His face gets blown off, and he's not happy about it, as you can imagine, and he's seeking revenge.
Oh, I meant gay as in like
everybody, like
military gay.
There's not. I'm sure with Jimmy involved that it'll get there.
Okay.
Is it G.I. Joey?
It's not G.I. Joey, but it's everybody. It's very a violent comic book, but it's also written exceptionally well. I was kind of impressed. Like you get a lot of scripts, and you're drawing these comics, and some of them are, you could barely make it through to draw them. And this thing, I'm always excited to work on. So, and it comes out. It's part of the New 52, but it comes out in May.
Oh, cool.
There's like a second launch. We got to get you to come to Drink and Draw sometime.
I would love to come to Drink and Draw. Going back to that, so Drink and Draw is what I'm guessing is a bar that you drink and you pretty much draw something with somebody, or you just draw.
Dave Johnson, Jeff Johnson, and myself, we all started in 2005, and there was nothing else really like that. And it was just a way for geeky people to get together because we're basically kind of nerds, and we're sitting drawing all day in our little rooms and staring at a piece of paper, but not hanging out with people and outside. So Dave was like, "Man, you guys are both married. How can I trick your wives into letting you go out into a bar?" And so we started just drinking and drawing. And there's no theme. There's not like Dr. Sketchies, if you've ever heard of that, is a theme. Like they'll hire a model and everybody sits there like a life drawing class and draws. And there's alcohol available, but you're not in a bar. Like this is kind of I like it because you're sitting there, and we do it at Casey's downtown. Do
you live downtown?
I live downtown. I've been down there for about 2 years, and I love it.
It's where all the cool kids live.
Yeah, you downtown people, you're proud of your cool clubs, and they are cool. And the thing is that not being in downtown, it's such a weird thing going down there.
So you had a good time at my New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
But if you don't live down there and you're just visiting downtown, you're like, how is this even Los Angeles? It's a really weird place.
It is weird. Yeah. But the bars are really cool.
The bars are awesome. You feel like, this one you feel like in New York. They shoot Mad Men there. They shoot It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There are some other places. Did I say that name right?
I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
So you get out of college. How did you get your first job? Did you?
Well, I was going to community college for business, and I had done. This is really geeky. I used to have an ad in the back of this magazine called Dragon Magazine, and I would draw your D&D character or whatever thing like that, and they'd send me in their character. I'd draw it, and this one guy, his name's Joe Naftali, had me draw an actual comic book for him. He gets it published, and there's a comic book convention. So he said, "Why don't you come up and you'll sit there and sign it?" And I was 21, so I had $600. I went up to New York. Great family, and I met like Walt Simonson, who was famous for doing Thor at the time, and all these things, and they hooked me up with Marvel like right away.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was great. I worked with Neil Adams. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Neil Adams,
super famous. He kind of put Batman back on the map, and yeah.
That's cool. And so you started off at Marvel, and then now you're more working at DC? Or
well, I work at both. I mean,
cool. So you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, you're allowed.
They're cool about that.
Yeah, everybody kind of knows each other. Like, you go to these comic book conventions, and every single one is like a high school reunion that you can go to once a month, because there's always a comic book convention somewhere.
Do you know if the comic book industry is hurting? Because it seems like the comic book stores are hurting. I try to this is something I've been doing last 3 months. While I don't buy a lot of comics anymore, because I don't really have time, I do go to a local comic book store, and I go there probably about once a month, and I just spend a shitload of money on stupid shit. And I kind of just do that. Like the other day I was there, and I was really, really baked, and they had a Darth Vader full costume designed by a guy that does movies and stuff like that, and he did it all himself, and it was so beautiful. It was $2,500. I don't have that money, but I do have a credit card that could buy that.
That'll be in the corner over there.
I sat there for an hour just fucking staring at that thing.
Which store?
It's the one in Burbank. Comic. It's right next to. I can't think of the name right now.
It's not Secret Headquarters, is it?
It's not Secret Headquarters.
It's not Secret Headquarters.
The Comic Zone. I can never remember the name of it, because I live closer to that one, the headquarters. But this one, I can't remember the name of it. It's right across the street from the bakery. I can't remember the name of the bakery.
I'm lusting after a $970 She-Ra costume right now.
She-Ra? How much?
$970.
How is it that much for a She-Ra costume? There's barely any costume to it, is it?
Well, the thing is, they custom fit it to you, and it's a corset. All of the gold bits are made out of real leather.
Where'd you even find it?
It's at Trashy Lingerie.
Oh, okay.
And
there you go.
Trashy.com. But the full thing, and like, it's made of like really nice satin. It's got a cape. It's like,
all right, I have an idea.
Serious quality. And I keep going in and trying it on and being all like, I still can't afford it, guys. I'm thinking about starting to buy it piece by piece.
Maybe they could sponsor this podcast. Every week you could have like a new little superhero outfit.
That's right.
That would be kind of.
And
cute.
then you could
force yourself. Brian would be you'd hate it, but you'd just put up with it probably.
If we get to have another podcast, I may. How about this? If we do another podcast, I'll wear my Wonder Woman costume.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
kind of good.
Yeah,
dude, you should come dress up as a superhero.
Yeah.
Well,
you were back to serial killer there with the Dahmer stuff.
Zip up your hood. I want to see your sweet.
Oh yeah, so
Spider-Man. We need a fashion show.
This is unfortunately, I have 3 of these. This is not. The other 2 are done by Mark Echo, who's a designer who started off doing like all these like cool Star Wars hoodies. And shit like that. And then this is, I don't know who designed this, but it's not Mark Echo. It's pretty much one of those hoodies that you can't wear outside of doing a podcast without getting beat up. It's like a Spider-Man hoodie, and then the hood comes up and then zips up together. So I could rob a bank.
Yeah, you definitely could rob a bank with that.
Let's see if I can do this with it.
They'd arrest Peter Parker. You wouldn't have to worry about it.
But
can you still do it?
It looks kind of fucked up. But
that'd be great for like snowboarding, though.
Yeah, it's not. This one's not actually designed that well compared to the Mark Echo ones. Were really cool. I mean, like I have the Darth Vader Mark Echo, and I have the Batman one, and both of them are really designed well. And when you zip it up, it looks pretty sweet.
Were you wearing that on another podcast?
No, I just got this.
I just had like weird deja vu seeing you on the screen there with the hood thing on. That was a little strange.
You're having premonitions.
It's this drink that you.
I've
Four Loko or whatever it's called.
I have a few Spider-Man outfits that you've probably seen me wear before. I just buy Spider-Man outfits for no reason other than to embarrass
it's your favorite
myself.
comic book.
Yeah.
And
the
dress
legs
up
went
is
up.
Awesome.
I'm
getting comfortable.
Yeah, the legs are
getting
up.
Comfortable. Step into my office.
We're supposed to have MC Chris call in. Hopefully he will. Who we heard at the beginning of the show. I don't know if you guys know MC Chris or not. He does nerd rap. and he's pretty big. He does also some voices on Adult Swim. He's on.
Is that like Titmouse cartoons and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's shit. What show does he do? I should know this. He's been in the Aqua Team, Hunger Force. He played a spider, a rapping spider. He's also in the one that's under the water.
What's that one?
Oh, SpongeBob SquarePants?
No. The Adult Swim one, which
TV.
You don't have TV. What?
No, she has comic books.
No, I have a TV, but I don't have cable because if I had cable, I already spend so much time on Hulu and Netflix and like buying season passes to things on like right now I'm watching like Farscape from the beginning.
Right.
Oh.
And Dollhouse from the beginning.
This has nothing to do with comics, but I'm watching Downton Abbey.
I love Downton Abbey.
Is that okay? Is that
no? Because it's nerdy, but not necessarily in the cool nerd kind of way.
I've seen like 3 episodes, and I'm already kind of hooked.
It's really good. I can't wait for season 2, which is out, but I gotta wait for it to come out on Netflix.
What do you watch, Brian?
I really don't watch. Or like comics. I really don't have any time to do anything. But I usually go to sleep every night to Family Guy, Adventure Time, or Cops.
So one's going to give you nightmares.
One's going to give me nightmares. One's very relaxing, and one gets me material.
I used to watch what's that horrible show where they're dissecting people and solving all the crimes, but it's for real.
Oh, Bones?
No. It's not a drama. It's like
not First 48, but Autopsy.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, this guy's committed some crimes. Usually, he kills his wife, and then they solve it. But so you watch that every night before you go to bed, and you're lying there with your wife, and she's looking, and we both saw it, and I'm like, I could, you're dreaming of different, is she going to kill me? Should I kill her? Those things.
Well, now that you've watched these shows, you know
how to avoid.
There's
almost no way to kill anybody.
Yeah.
It's really
it's
the
pretty
sad
impossible.
side of technologies. Yeah. You can't get away with anything anymore.
The only way you could do it, and this might be I might be the subject for your next Dahmer comic book, but the only way you have to pick some like random stranger, because if you know that person, that's it. There's like your fingernail or like some dust from your ears in the room, and they're like, oh, we got you.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Chris, this is Brian Redban. You're on the phone with Ryan Keely and the very, I can't remember your name again.
It's Panosian. Dan.
Dan. How you doing, man?
You can't remember who you're talking to right now?
Well, you just caught me off guard, man.
We just met.
We just met like 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. Chris, it's great to have you on the phone, man. How have you been, buddy?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can hear you great. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you great.
Awesome. You in New York right now?
I'm in a jet flying over Paris.
Wow. I like how he rolls.
He rolls large.
Yeah. Going back to America after a quick little birthday gig for a little girl. She was her birthday, and she's French, and she wanted me to be there. So, but I said I would do this call. So let's just do this, okay?
So you're on one of those little airplane phones.
Oh, one of those little airphones. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, Chris, congratulations on your cartoon. You did a Kickstarter, and you didn't. Not only did you raise the amount that you wanted to do, but you got over. And so, is this going on? Are you actually going to have the MC Chris cartoon?
Yeah, we animated 6 minutes with Titmouse, and thanks to donations from my fans. And right now, I'm just in the process of calling everybody up and fulfilling all my obligations. Like I have to draw some things for some people and write a couple rap songs for some people, and so I'm just make sure that I get all that taken care of before I try to hit everybody up again to go for another round, because we're trying to shoot to make about 12 minutes of animation, and we're about halfway there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is this is this his preview that I'm watching?
Yeah,
right
we're watching right now while Chris is on the phone. We're watching the MC Chris cartoon, which was like a little teaser. This has been needed. This needed to happen a while ago, because you have such a great character of yourself that was drawn. Who originally drew the original? Did you draw that, or?
I drew something on the cover of Eating's Not Cheating, the second version of an album I put out. I did like kind of a rough drawing of a cartoon face with a hat, and then I met Nate Bellegarde, who Robert Kirkman who does Walking Dead, he was working with Nate, and he was a fan of mine, and he sent Nate over to my table. We were both at the same convention, and Nate showed me his sketchbook, and we've been working on the character, like you say, for a long time now, since I started touring. And, the idea always was to make a cartoon. And, I got to the point where I toured long enough that I kind of wanted to get back into making cartoons. And I didn't really have a lot of support network-wise, though, for the idea that I had, which was just a continuation of the skits from my records. So I just kind of kept on going, and, I have such a nice little fan base that they can kind of support me do whatever I can think of.
So is this cartoon zombie-themed?
I wouldn't say that. I would say it's everything themed. It just kind of feels like maybe what it's like to live in this day and age. So you know how zombies are a part of our lives. It's part of everyone's lives, but it's not our entire lives.
No.
We reserve maybe 5% of our minds for zombies every day.
More for Ryan.
It's not like
Ryan, it's all she thinks about.
So I would say there's a little bit of that. There's a lot of this. And there's a little bit of this. And there's just all kinds of different things. You don't quite know what you're going to get, but that is definitely there, and that's just a continuation of a seed that was planted in the skits.
Wow. Chris, Dan, who's here, is actually an artist for both Marvel and DC. Do you still read comics?
Oh, yeah, I go in every Wednesday to Forbidden Planet, and I have a pull drawer, and, I go back and forth between DC and Marvel. I was really into Marvel for a long time, and Hawkeye missed the kill shot on the Skrull Queen, and I kept reading after that, but they kind of lost me, because Hawkeye's my shit. And, so then, more recently, I've been really into Batman's death, and then him coming back, and then Batman Incorporated, and then they kind of wiped the slate, and now they have the New 52. And
I think there's
when
too
I'm
many
on the
Batman
road,
comics.
that's what I'm really into is just trying to get all the, something like the New 52, which I just got all of them, and really enjoyed reading them. And I read all kinds of different things, though, from indies to Dark Horse to all kinds of different stuff.
How do you feel about Catwoman, the new Catwoman? Because I'm obsessed.
The girl behind the register was, called it a Tijuana Bible or something like that. And, it's really sexy, I guess. But that's how DC is, right? I guess that's the vibe of the New 52 in general. Like, it's supposed to be super violent, super sexy, kind of like hardcore. They're going for something that's a little bit more hardcore. I think it's just to kind of get,
new readers,
a reader's attention.
It's intimidating.
But I like Catwoman because she's a thief and she, climbs around on rooftops, and that concept to me is always cool. It's kind of hard to fuck that up for me, so I have been reading Catwoman. I'm just kind of following along. I'm not really judging it. I don't really have a hard time if two superheroes make love with their masks on. I'm not going crazy because, it's a Batman and a Catwoman, That in itself is Looney Bird. So why would I have a problem with them doing it with their masks on? That's great.
Is that what the issue that people had, is that they were wearing their masks?
I
just thought it was just
it's
that
like
they
Comic-Con.
were...
If they were doing it at all, I don't know. Maybe no one has a problem with their masks being on. Maybe them doing it is the problem. But you gotta let superheroes have sex, or else it just comes out in horrible ways during a fight,
I know, you just got to read The Boys if you need your super
I read The Boys. It's a great series. I was looking forward to Adam McKay making a movie of that, but I guess that's not going to happen.
Well, that sucks. I'm just upset that they pulled Derek Roberts off The Boys. I think it really changed the look and feel of the book.
Is Derek Robertson not drawing
No,
it
he's
anymore?
only doing the covers right now, and it sucks because I'm struggling through the last trade.
He might actually come back.
Yeah, there's a certain point with trade sometimes, like where you aren't as in love with it as you once were because they change an artist, and someone thinks that the book can live on without the artist, and it's just not the case.
So how you had a great April Fool's website, by the way. I loved it. I couldn't stop. Are you? How did that come about? Do you work with the Little Pony?
I had two. I do an April Fool's song every year. I've been doing it for the past 5 years. I've done Beetlejuice, a song about Neville from Harry Potter. We did Twin Peaks and Quentin Tarantino, and it's just like something I do every year, and just more of a free gift than it is a trick. But yesterday was more of a trick, and everyone kind of went crazy, and it was really successful and a lot of fun. It was definitely one of the most fun days I've ever had being an artist, where you can make something and watch everybody go crazy and find out there's some people that are your fans that maybe shouldn't be. You can kind of get rid of them, when you see how they react to certain things. Because I didn't know, I knew how things could get kind of vehement with the bronies. Like kind of, I've had experience with the Juggalos, and I hear it was kind of like that, where they can get very intense.
We're gonna play your thing so the people that aren't familiar. Oh, we're not gonna play it.
No, we'll play it later. But I'm sorry for.
It's got ponies.
We have a big My Pretty Pony fan here in the studio.
Yeah, well, it's just it was just something that I watched the show, and I don't do it regularly, but I did research for the song, and I really liked the show, and we just kind of watched a couple episodes every day, and I really liked it. As someone who's trying to make a cartoon right now, I thought it was really well made. I thought it was just as good as My Little Pony, but I guess the crowd that loves it so much are so excited about it and so stoked on it that they're driving people insane with how happy they are about it, I guess, and how much they're like playing with it and messing around with it and just doing just like playing with it, And I just thought I would just kind of have some fun and make something that was kind of in support of that whole movement, because I kind of saw it as, people being judgmental of a group, and no matter what the group is, if it's nerds or juggalos or bronies, if they're being made fun of, for enjoying something together, I kind of always will stand right next to them and be like, no, that's not cool. You shouldn't make fun of people just because they're having a good time and you wish you were a part of it, but you're not strong enough to be a part of it. So, it was a fun thing to do. It was a really political song, and it really excited everybody, and it was a really fun day to be an artist.
Wow, that's cool. Now, I had a question about your eBay auctions. Now, you constantly have eBay auctions, and you always have some of the coolest shit on your eBay. Are you just... Are you a hoarder, or do you just getting rid of your whole entire childhood every week?
I buy a lot of stuff. I have a problem with just buying a lot of stuff. I think I was taken to the mall every Saturday as a kid, and grew up just getting a G.I. Joe every time I wanted it. I was probably more spoiled than I needed to be. So I'm a little bit of a spendthrift now, and I won't buy too much stuff in a gift shop at an amusement park or in a comic book store or something like that. And because I have a little apartment, it builds up, and I just start to feel like Andy Warhol in here, where you just definitely feel like a hoarder. And, my nephew was born 4 years ago, and he was born with a disease called cystic fibrosis. And so as soon as I found that out, I wanted to kind of figure out a way to start raising money to fight that disease. And, I gave it to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And I just kind of was killing two birds with one stone, where I was kind of helping out and getting some money towards some research, but at the same time getting rid of stuff in my apartment. And, at the end of Toy Story 3, I thought it was a very good kind of parable that, it's sometimes it's better to pass a toy on or pass an item you own on to somebody and let it it can make them happy right now rather than just sitting on my shelf and gathering dust, and maybe somebody comes over and says, wow, you've got so much shit, that's so cool. It's way more important to me to try to raise a little money and fight this disease. And also, I sent with each of these packages, I sent all these kind of like little goodies and little like Avengers trading cards or Lego minifigs and little Doctor Who stickers and anything I can think of, anything I can find. I buy little things all the time, and I throw it in with the gift just because I want to reward that person for doing some charity, and they get like something cool in the mail, and you get some extra secret goodies, and I get a little money towards my cause.
Do people overbid because it's for the cause?
Do you find people overbidding because of the cause?
Yeah, sure. All the things that I put up for bid are everything that people pay is way more than they're worth.
That's really cool.
And I think everyone's just kind of they get into the spirit of bidding, and they just kind of get their heart set on the thing. And I sign everything, and I think it's just a way to do a little good. It doesn't cost anybody too much money, and then you get something cool like a comic book that you can read or a toy or something like that.
Do you know how much you've raised so far? Like, do you know your grand?
We almost raised $100,000.
That's
and
fucking amazing.
We're like a little bit under it, maybe like 98. But with the last, we just made 1,500 with this last comic book sale. So now we're probably right on the cusp, if not over 100.
Oh, look, wait, go back up there. I want to see what the original. So you wanted, like 1,100.
Originally,
100,000.
Yeah. This is something different.
Okay,
Now your Kickstarter thing. You have the pledges where you have the different levels that you pledge, and I noticed that you are going to be a very busy. Have you started this yet? Because I know there's a there's a comic that had to do this where he had to say thank you to anyone that added him on Twitter, and he had 5,000 Twitter followers, so he had to sit there all day, and he said it was the worst fucking thing ever having to actually do all that.
I think you learn as you do Kickstarter, and I'm definitely going to be doing things differently with my next phase. So it's not going to take up so much of my time, and it'll probably focus more on like merchandise that we can send people and things I can delegate to other people. Definitely calling people has been a very difficult thing to do. I've done about 600 phone calls to my fans so far. I have about 300 more to go.
Oh my God.
Then I have voicemails, drawings, and songs, and a concert at one of the fans' house to do as well. And I'm the kind of person that really can't move forward unless this is all taken care of and everyone's happy and I can move on and try to raise that money again. But, the phone call thing, as much as it is arduous, it's awesome because it reminds me what I did. I took people's money to make a cartoon. So I can kind of be reminded of that every time I talk to somebody.
Right.
And I hear in their voice how, they're happy for me, that they really like the MC Chris concept and they like the cartoon and they want to see it happen. And it reminds me what I'm doing, and it kind of keeps me going. And I think you don't have that connection oftentimes between, creator and audience.
You have some of the best fans ever. I've been to a few of your shows, and not only is it an amazing concert, but your fans are fucking awesome. But you also have a weird thing where you also kind of mix comedy in with music. You have very, very good stand-up roots kind of built into your show. But I've also seen a lot of funny shit when you're dealing with hecklers. Now, I saw you get racked in the balls by somebody, some drunk chick threw a bottle at your nuts. Is this something that's common?
Well, it shouldn't be. I'm going to have to call the blame on me for last fall. I was an angry guy because my dad was dying, and he just passed away. So leading up to that moment, I was still touring, and I found out right before I left for tour that they were going to stop chemo and that we were just kind of going to go down this dark path. And so I was a straight up asshole. And so the night of that show, that girl had her drink on the stage, and I told her to get it off the stage. I didn't have to be so controlling and have to have her drink off the stage and piss her off. But those little tiny things escalate and become huge. Next thing you know, someone's chucking something at my junk while I've got my eyes closed and I'm rapping at the very end of the show. And that kind of ruins a great show. Right. It was tough because that was the show where we made the most money the entire tour. So it was kind of, and in the parking lot, it was filled with like the Ghostbusters car and a Resident Evil car and the Blues Brothers car and the Knight Rider car, and all these cars were there. It was like this huge event in Denver. It was a great night, and it shouldn't have been fucked up because I was just being a controlling douchebag. So I don't even.
I don't know. I think
that girl was lame. She acted incorrectly, but I didn't help, and I was just on a tear, and I look forward to going on tour this next summer and just being the nicest rapper you've ever met in your life.
So you're going on tour in summer?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, Chris, I don't want to keep you too long. Do you have anything that you want to promote or anything like that, or?
Anything I want to plug?
Yeah, any plugs?
No, just there's that new song I made called Discord, which is about My Little Ponies, and you can go watch that on YouTube. There'll be a new website. We're going to have an Easter sale next week. You're going to be seeing the tour poster that we've been working on for a long time for the summer tour soon. And we're going to start talking about the next phase of the cartoon soon. And there is a cartoon that I recorded with MF Doom for Adult Swim, but I don't know. I'm starting to feel like we may never see it. I don't know. It's called Type Bros, and it's made by some folks that worked on Beavis and Butthead. But it's just being reworked and retooled right now. We'll see what happens to that.
I tell you, Chris, thank you very much. I had this girl steal my favorite hoodie, my MC Chris hoodie, and she never gave it back. And I was just crying about it on Twitter, and you sent me a new one, and thank you very much for that. You have great shirts.
You guys stop hanging out with these gypsy ladies.
I know, these little gypsy ladies. But yeah, check out Chris's clothing. He's got a lot of cool shit, and he's got a lot of great music. If you haven't heard him before, definitely check out his stuff. And keep an eye on his website, mcchris.com, because he's always has really cool geeky auctions, and they're just stuff that I want to buy it all, but I'm also a hoarder, so I'm trying not to. But Chris, please get a hold of me when you come back to LA, man. I would love to have you in the studio or something.
Yeah, we will be back in the West Coast soon, and I definitely would love to hang out and go beyond all my friends that have podcasts, and that would be a lot of fun. Thanks for being so cool over the years. Your fans don't know this, but you've just been really awesome and like kind of an LA guide for me since I started touring. So you've just been great, and I just want to say thank you so much.
All right, man. I can't wait to see you again. Take care, buddy.
Take care. Peace.
Bye.
Great talking to you, Chris.
So yeah, he's a real cool guy. You guys got to check out his. Here, we'll watch a little bit of this video now. This is his My Pretty Pony. Anyway, so go on YouTube, and that's under MC Chris Discord, DISCOR Discord, April Fool's song.
What was your drink there, Ryan? That was your martini. Spilling on that girl at the Roosevelt.
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
So my best friend that I grew up with is in town this weekend, and she works in politics and like NGO, unionizing, do-goodery stuff. And
superhero or something.
Yeah, she spends most of her time talking to people in the projects, finding ways to make their lives better. So she comes and visits me, and she wants to, do something that's very different than what she normally does. She's like, I want to have an LA night. I want to go out. I want to dress up. I want to wear high heels and false lashes and dance on tables.
And you're like, I can't help you. You're on your own.
I actually had to make some phone calls because I realized that my social life is now very much downtown. But so I know this guy who's an ex-male model / club promoter. Kind of a lot. Imagine Zoolander, but taller.
Wow. Every I have to meet this person.
Should I tell him the whole story?
Yeah, I think you should.
All right. So
I got a little bit of it in the car ride over here.
So I know this guy, I know him from parties and around and whatnot. And he decides, so he's like, yeah, I'll totally take you and your girlfriend out. And every time that I've come over to this guy's house, once, he had a pair of my sunglasses, and every time I come over to his house, he's always in his panties, always.
Wait a minute, panties or
panties?
Well,
you don't
little
say panties for guys. What kind of guy? He just comes up
black
in a thong.
Black boxer briefs. Yeah. But it's awkward to come into someone's house and hey, come on up. And I'm like, wow, you're in your underpants. So I told Rachel, I was like, okay, so whatever happens, I was like, I'm sorry, you're probably going to see this guy in his underpants. Apparently, when I get up, he's hanging out in little black shorts. I go to the bathroom, and apparently while I was in the bathroom, after knowing her for about 8 minutes, full on changes out of his shorts into his boxer briefs in front of her.
He's a very comfortable guy.
Yeah, full on, just pulls his junk out.
He's a former model. He should have charged her. She's looking at it for free. Right.
Yeah, but she didn't ask to look at it. So we end up going out to Beecher's Madhouse, which is midget themed. I walk into Beecher's Madhouse, and it's like Sesame Street characters, people in full on Big Bird suits and
you were saying
midgets.
Minnie Minaj?
Minnie Minaj performed, which was horrifying, but awesome. I'm not afraid of midgets. I was just really offended about how they were.
You mean little people?
Little people. I can't say little people, but I was really offended by the way that they were objectifying them.
LPs.
So they had them. Yeah. So. To get so there's bottle service at all the tables. It's this super fancy Hollywood club that I would never go to, but for my best friend who wanted to come out. So they have bottle service at the tables, and to get the bottles to the table, they have midgets that are dressed like Oompa Loompas. They put them on zip lines and fly them through the club and drop off the bottle at the table.
Lovely.
Yeah. I was more offended by the Oompa Loompa costume than I was by the zipline. I don't know what this says about me as a person.
They're probably, who knows, they're probably loving every minute of it, having a blast. It sounds like a fun place. Was it packed? Or
oh my gosh, it was so bad.
I think that's the place David Arquette owns.
Yes.
David Arquette owns it?
Yeah,
part of it. I
yeah.
think he's one of the investors.
So it's in the Roosevelt, and you have to go through this. It looks like a library door.
And that's a cool bar.
It's a really cool bar.
Yeah.
But so before we even go, the male model guy makes me do shots of Serbian moonshine.
Was he wearing pants at this point or not?
He was wearing underwear.
He was clothed.
He was wearing underwear. Yeah. He changed out of his shorts into the underwear and walked around in his underwear for an hour.
So was your friend into it? She's like, oh my god, I got to see his junk, or
she was fully traumatized.
Oh.
I wanted to go out, but your friend just showed me his penis, and I feel kind of weird hanging out with you guys. So we end up going to Beecher's. We're shit hammered, and we're like dancing on tables, and I'm drinking a martini, and martini isn't being drunk. Like, that's kind of the perfect combination, because if you're drunk, you're gonna keep spilling your martini, so you're not gonna get too wasted. So I spilled my martini, and apparently I spilled it on this girl, which I didn't realize.
This could be a girl fight situation.
Full on, like, don't. And apparently she's trying to talk to me, but I'm too busy, like, I don't realize that she's trying to talk to me. So her friend corners my friends and is like, we need your girlfriend to apologize. Like, you know, she's like being really rude. And I'm like, I have no idea this is going on. I don't even realize it. So her friend is talking to my friends to get an apology from me. And yeah,
Did it ever happen?
Not from me. No, apparently my girlfriend was like, she's really sorry. You know, if she realized, she'd be like really upset.
She's in politics, so she knows how to like smooth it over and
finesse the whole situation. Yeah,
I used to do. By the way, it's a little strange, Ryan, but I used to show up, like, we'd go to conventions and I'd be in one room and Jeff Johnson, one of the co-founders of Drink and Draw, would come over and get ready. We'd be going out to some kind of event. I would make sure that every time he showed up at the door, I would be naked, but holding some kind of strange object, and just see how uncomfortable he would get. I'd go, no, come on in. He goes, oh, yeah, you're not ready yet. No, it'll just take me 2 seconds. I'll throw something on.
I really want to do this drink and draw.
Yeah, a lot of nakedness happens.
Now I'm looking at your Twitter right now, Dan, which is Urban Barbarian.
Yeah.
Now, are you a Conan fan? Or
Huge. That's what got me into comic books.
Oh, really?
Drawing Conan right
now? I did 2 issues of Conan. That's all I've done, oddly enough.
Oh, wow.
I've done so many comics, but I only drawn 2 of those. But I love Conan, obviously, with the Urban Barbarian thing.
Yeah, your art, though, is amazing. Like this Dark Knight. Did you do this at a drink and draw, or is this?
That's like practically a drink. That's like a phone doodle.
A phone doodle. That's a phone doodle.
Do you know who would like this? Rogan would like this.
He's watching right now, by the way.
Oh, is he? I gave him a mouthpiece.
Oh,
so,
okay.
That man needs a mouth. I love UFC, so
right.
And I gave him.
Look at that.
That's another little phone doodle. But he needs a mouthpiece. I mean, he's going to get punched in the face constantly.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he have a mouthpiece?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, you could still talk. I think there's some artwork from GI Combat right there.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, he's strangling some dude.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's GI Combat too.
Oh. But do you still use, like when you're drawing for the comics, or have you switched to like a Cintiq?
Yeah, I use a Cintiq. I
What's
draw
a
everything.
Cintiq for those that don't know?
I got one.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Do you have the super new one?
I don't have the super new one, but it's so expensive. It was one of those things where when I was younger, I bought it right when it first came out, and I thought it was the worst idea ever, but I love it. I still fucking use it all the time. It's just an amazing piece of hardware. I wish
it's great.
I wish it was a little bit more wireless. I wish it was like an iPad.
You know what they have the new one? Did you see that mechanical arm bar thing? So you can move it any which way you want.
Really?
Articulate it anyway. It's
so
fantastic.
A Cintiq is a...
It's a drawing. It's imagine an iPad where you can draw on, but you can draw on an iPad, but you can only use your finger or one of those stupid pens. A Cintiq is like where you can get really detailed.
Oh no, it's super detailed.
It's super
insane.
detailed.
It's a big screen. It's your monitor.
I've seen one. I was just for people that are listening. Like, what are you guys talking about? Yeah.
Oh, boobies.
Was there boobies?
Boobies
on there?
where?
Everybody got excited.
Right here.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh, I saw that's in your. I just saw that at Drink and Draw.
That was at a Drink and Draw.
Yeah.
And that was a naked Drink and Draw actually.
There's every time I go
This
to
is
Drink
my
and Draw,
little Guns
I
N'
see.
Roses thing. I don't know what is it. Did I draw that? Wow.
I don't know. It's
what the hell is
yeah,
that?
it's a drink and draw sketch.
Okay, yeah, that's from Drink and Draw also.
Do you? So I guess
I think there's my wife up there.
Yeah, his wife is so hot, like so freaking
that's
hot.
The one.
Oh wow.
She's a cutie pie.
Yeah, like so. Not only and she was also in GI Joe.
She was in GI Joe.
No,
she was the
what?
She was one of the few women who never got killed on that show in the movie.
Oh.
She was the aide to the president.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and she was a huge GI Joe fan. She had all the GI Joe comic books, and she's like it's like Ryan, like beautiful girls that like comics. It's kind of a
Yeah, I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan. I was unfortunately really let down with the first one, and like Michael Bay and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm very sad about what's happened to my favorite toys. I know they're going to ruin Voltron at one point. I know they're going to ruin Akira at one point, and I heard that Akira was up, like they're going from being in production to not production.
Yeah.
I've heard names flying around like Zac Efron and shit.
What?
And I just know it's just they're not going to do it right.
They got to use an all Asian cast.
They need to just make it CGI. Pixar needs to make Akira, and then that'll be fine. I was thinking about this the other day.
What's wrong with the movie as it is? I'm such a purist. I'm like, like Star Wars is a trilogy. Like, you can fuck yourself with your extra episodes. Fight you. But it's why do they have to go back? Like, it's not like Keurig is a comic book. It's also a really awesome animated movie. Like, why do they need to do it again? Why?
I don't know. I'm with you. Like Pixar doing it, that would be
Okay.
pretty wild.
I was thinking this the other day. I was thinking because I forget what movie made me think about this. I think it was one of the recent movies that came out. I think it was Green Lantern or something like that.
Everybody, I didn't see Green Lantern, but
So my friends lived in
There's
New
some people-
Orleans while Green Lantern was filming, and they were like constantly literally outside my friend's apartment, like blowing stuff up all the time. And the way production worked down there, like you could call production and complain about being like locked out of your apartment because they'd block off entire streets and you couldn't like drive home. And so many people I knew that live in the French Quarter got their rent paid by Green Lantern.
Wow, that's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
So something good happened.
Something green-
did.
Something
There
good
is, yeah. Some people got free rent in New Orleans.
Well,
That's the best thing that
So
happened.
I was thinking about Disney recently purchased Marvel, and I was thinking how amazing. Instead of these reboots of Spider-Man and all this shit, how amazing would it be if Pixar just tackled like the Incredible Hulk, or if they did something crazy like that.
Do you like CGI? Like what Pixar does as far as they really have cartooned stuff. And
Right.
it has that 3D modeling look, but it doesn't look like, I don't know, some of those companies they'll do cartoons and it's almost like
Well, they're
it's too
copying
real.
off. Yeah, they're
It's too real.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. Like, what was the one that was recent where that just came out that was like that? I know exactly what you're talking about. Kind of like that Tom Hanks one where he played like.
oh yeah, I don't like that stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that shit either.
You got to pick a lane. It's either got to look like a cartoon, and you hire the people that do the original designs, like Pixar does, so it looks like a 3-dimensional cartoon taking shape.
Have you ever got into any kind of CGI?
No, I haven't.
No.
I've done like design work for video game stuff. I did the original Kung Fu Panda designs.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was a video game. It was a horrible video game that it play tested and just did horrible. And we worked for a year. I was the lead character designer on the thing, and Spielberg saw all the things up in the I guess war room or something, because this is going to be a cartoon or it's going to be a feature.
Right.
And then the video game came out, and the characters are like maybe 6 pixels high. so obviously nobody. It's a fighting game, a martial arts fighting game, and you
Right.
can't really do anything. You can't do kicks, so it just was a disaster. And then 10 years later, it was the movie.
Yeah. Well, here's a scene from your GI Combat MASH.
Yeah. A lot of mayhem.
So good.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Now, so have you done a lot of video? Do you do video game covers also?
Yeah,
or
I've
have
done
you-
those, like for Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so hot.
Is that Ryan right there?
That's right.
Wow, is that Johnny Cash?
Yeah,
Oh,
I love that
sweet.
song.
Wow. You're an amazing artist.
Thanks.
Now, with the video game cover things, it's kind of funny how back in the day, art for video game covers was so horrible.
Yeah.
Like it really, like I'm going through these old magazines. While looking for my comics, I found my old video game magazines. Back in the day, you didn't have to. You had these things
Wow.
like this was for TurboGrafx. This is called Turbo Play, and this was for the game Bloody Wolf, which was a kind of a army game. But this is also what back in the day the covers of video games looked like. Just kind of.
Yeah.
Really shitty art, and I never understood it. Like some of the best video games, I wish I could have an example, but a lot of people know what I'm talking about. Some of the best video games, including like this old Nintendo Fun Club News, like they just fucked up the characters.
terrible.
I
So
worked
so
for them,
bad.
actually. There was a Nintendo and Valiant. They had a comic book company, and actually Valiant is coming back, but I drew a lot of Zelda when I first moved to New York.
Did you
And,
really?
Yeah.
did
I've
anything
worked
that
on-
we might have seen?
Well, they had their line of comic books. It was Zelda and who else? What's another Nintendo character?
Mario.
That was, so here's my dream was I wanted to draw Conan, and here I'm drawing Zelda. So I wasn't thrilled about it.
Check out this. This is I have all of them, but this is the only one I found. This is the Nintendo Fun Club News. This
Oh,
is
that's
right
cool.
when the Nintendo first came out. The NES came out,
Wow.
and you didn't have to buy this. You just had to fill out like send them an email or send them a postcard, and they would send you these newsletters once in a while.
I like
And
they sprung for 2 colors on that.
this was a 2-color print because they didn't have the money yet, obviously.
Wow.
And what's cool is not only was I in this, but Cliffy B was also in one
Wait a
of
minute,
these
you were
issues.
you were in that?
Yeah, they had a contest to draw a magazine or a T-shirt design for Nintendo. It was like their first
Oh, so you got to come to Drink and Draw. Ryan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, you'll have to drag him in there.
I will.
I was only like second or third place, but I still have all these like stupid magazines from the day. And while I'm going through all these magazines, I found the two oldest Playboy issues that I found. I have Cindy Crawford on Playboy.
Give me now. Hand it over.
And one
Madonna.
of the most scariest issues ever, which is also the last stapled issue of Playboy before
Are those-
What are they?
went to it.
Perfect bound now?
Huh?
Are they perfect bound?
Yeah, they're like that right there.
Okay.
And of course, cigarette ad on the back. But this issue of Playboy, if you don't know what it is, I can't show you on Ustream. But if you Google Playboy Madonna,
It's her creepy art school picture.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
some of the
bush.
creepiest photos.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah.
I remember just as a kid, just fucking looking at this shit. But here's holy shit. Red Sona is in this also in this
Brigitte
issue.
Nielsen,
In this issue.
What?
And if you look right here,
There's
Red Sonja. Remember that movie, Red
Oh
Sonja?
yeah, I had to see that one.
Ginger Conan.
Uh-huh.
And she's naked in
Conan.
it.
I like that. Ginger Conan.
Playboy used to be
Here,
so
save me that one.
good.
Playboy did used to be so good. Whatever happened to that? I guess they're trying to do a reboot over at Playboy. I don't know if they're just doing the online thing now. They're finally moving into the.
Well, they just got bought out by Manwin, which is the big company that's buying up all the
That's
old
cool,
companies.
too.
They bought Digital Playground. They bought up Brazzers. They bought up Twisties. Basically, porn should probably
There's
have
a
an antitrust
porn-
suit
it's a
sometime in the
monopoly.
near future.
And I want to show this. This is now. This is how baked I was the other day. I actually went through a lot of these magazines, and like there's like letters to the editors, like from little kids, like I'm a big Nintendo fan and stuff like that. And I tried to find what they did now, like on Facebook,
really?
like
That's
in
so cool.
Google and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Most of them were really successful people, and it was
Wow.
pretty awesome. But here's another. This is Sunsoft, which is I think they're still around, maybe not. This is another news club because every video game company had these. But I love the staff photo on this. This is some of the
Wait,
the
they have a girl.
the geekiest nerds you'll ever see.
Who's
And
that green guy in the middle?
that's
Christmas tree.
Christmas tree. But I bet all these people now are fucking super rich millionaires. But it's just like looking through these things. The art for video games in the 80s
That
was
was
just so fucking awful.
You know, another one I worked on was Duke
This is good.
Nukem, and those guys were like rolling in it, man.
Duke Nukem?
Yeah, they were all out of Texas, and
Oh right.
they'd email me like, "Oh, here's my 4 different unbelievable cars," and that guy was like a vice president or like a manager. Like, those guys made money.
Video game people
Yeah.
are the new millionaires nowadays. What is that?
Okay, this is my mind is being blown. So Miss July 1988 is wearing clown makeup.
Oh,
I'm not,
little.
I'm not into clowns.
I am so creeped out by clowns, but like, yeah.
Whoa, can't show too much
Yeah,
of
we
that.
Yeah.
But
There's not even butt
trouble
crack
there.
in that picture. Well, there's butt crack, but there's no boobs or anything.
There actually are though.
Oh, on the other side.
that's kind of Lexi Belly or whatever that.
Chris Cafaro.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah. What's,
Oh, I'm sorry.
um,
Dick Avery.
Dick Avery.
You know what you don't see anymore is the girl from the Rat video, Marianne Gravetti.
Marianne
Remember
Gravetti.
that?
Yeah.
you can't-
What the F? Sorry.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
God,
yeah,
That's not a no.
Can you show that?
I think so. Let me
Yeah,
see.
show that to the camera right here.
Let me cover this side with my.
Okay.
But that's not like.
This-
You know what? That's a. Oh, you're that. I think.
That's
yeah.
creepy.
That's
Creepy clown makeup chicks.
Yeah. Well, if you go a little lower though, you might.
That's hot. I want.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a thing of your Conan.
Is that Conan?
Here's Road of Kings number 10.
Oh yeah.
So beautiful.
And this is like a mashup of different.
Yeah, what I did is you don't want to like give away the story, so I just take various panels and just do a panel mash, and then fans could see aspects of it, and hopefully they go, oh, I want to buy that.
Did you see the new Conan movie?
No.
Did you see any of the comic book movies, or is there any ones that you
I
really
saw the
like?
comic.
or-
That's what got me into it. Is I saw the Conan movie, and then my dad took me out to see.
Why did you do that?
Yeah, that was for a Marvel video game.
Wow, that's good.
But it's actually based on somebody else's Captain America. They sent me somebody else's. Actually, that was a funny one. There's that Red Sonja right there.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. You ever do what's the other redheaded that was really popular?
Black Widow.
No, not Black Widow. Shit, I can't remember her name. Yeah. Oh, that's a good Thor.
Yeah, that was weird. I got a call from an art director, and they said, "We need this thing overnight. It's a new costume for Thor." and it was right when they were talking about doing the Thor movie. So I didn't have much time. I think I had like maybe 3 hours or something. I sent that in, and I was thrilled about it, but it was kind of rushed. It was actually for the Thor animated TV series. And they're like, I think you went a little overboard, and I don't think we could actually animate that. This is a thing, we have a thing called Comic Thwart. It's a website, and there's another one called Whatnot. And each week we pick a theme, and I picked that theme of Alfred Hitchcock. So I reimagined the movie poster there.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, see, now that's fun. That just seems like that. Yeah, you have a lot of fun with drawing.
We have a blast doing this stuff, and I have to say my artwork changed a lot from Drink and Draw because it kind of loosens you up.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, you free yourself from a lot of the strange constrictions that you normally have doing comic books. You know who was there a couple weeks ago? Was a huge MMA guy, Herb Dean.
Oh, I know Herb Dean.
He was awesome. I was starstruck. He showed up. Yeah, if Joe Rogan was here, I wouldn't be able to speak.
Really?
I'm a huge UFC fan, and I've been watching UFC since it first started, and even before that, I did back in Florida. It didn't have like UFC or MMA. It was a tough man competition.
Right.
And you're drunk at a bar in Fort Lauderdale, and you go, yeah, I'll go up there. And you have a 6-pack, and you bash people's heads in.
Did you compete?
Competing is a wrong way to say it. Did I go into the ring and fight? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I've always been into that. So my dad was a pro boxer, so I've always loved that stuff. And
what do you think about the recent Comic-Con? I've probably been to Comic-Con maybe only 3 times because I've only lived in LA 8 years. But now it's impossible to even go as a fan. I think it's pretty gross.
The last 2 years, I'm wondering if I should. You're going to go?
I'm going to end up working it, but I'm sure I will. But I went one year as a fan, and it was awful. It was like being in a mosh pit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wear a cute outfit because there's so much walking around that you want to be wearing comfy shoes.
Right.
And then I went one time when I met you guys through James Syme.
That was fun.
That was really fun. And
you were looking for Warren Ellis the whole time, I think, or
who else? Oh no! I actually did end up meeting because I went out to dinner with the
you abandoned us, I think.
Okay, because Warren Ellis wanted to get a glass of whiskey. I'm sorry, he's my favorite comic book writer
we're all sitting
time.
there. We're all sitting there. It's like Dave Johnson, Sean Murphy.
Yeah, I know.
And then we were having a great time with Ryan, and she gets a text, and then bam.
Okay, so I would like to point out that Warren Ellis was in Comic-Con for all of 24 hours and chose to send 2 of them drinking with me.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. It was actually, I just wrote a thing today about how that was the best day of my life.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was at Comic-Con. I was actually technically being paid to be there. Yeah. So I got like all my passes for free, and my room was covered. And I go out and I run into James Syme, who runs Isotope Comics in SF, who's one of my really good friends, and I love and adore. And it's kind of like my comic book guru. Like, he's the guy that like keeps me reading what I should be reading. So he takes me out and introduces me to like Dan here and Dave Johnson, and this whole table of just like really glamorous, if you're into comic books, people.
I like that, glamorous.
Glamorous comic book people. And I was just like, this is so awesome. And Warren Ellis and I had been talking on the Twitter, and he's like, hey, I'll hit you up.
Did you just call it the Twitter?
The Twitter, yeah.
It's like the Facebook.
I was on the internet, and then the Twitter came up. Gave him a old jingle.
So, and then he was like, hey, I've got a moment. Would you like to get a glass of whiskey? And I was like,
I am sure he had a moment for you. Come on.
Right.
He's like, I have a spare moment.
Okay, you realize that I forget that I'm a good-looking girl. Like, I will have to pull up my 18-year-old passport photo because I was not hot at 18.
No.
Like, I only got good-looking a couple years ago. I will show you the picture later. So I forget that, like, I'm a girl, and in comic books, like, people will take time.
Mind you, she was not in costume, but she may as well. I mean, like, heads were turning like crazy. And
it's the false eyelashes.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, you wear the false eyelashes, you can get away from murder. Everyone thinks you're just like a glamorous princess.
Yeah. Oh, look, a bug.
A glamorous bug.
What kind of bug is that? It's one of those. What are those kind of bugs that are like lightning bugs, but they're not lightning bugs, but they look exactly like one? That's what that was.
Oh, those are the ones like you squish them and they stink. They land up.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't squish them.
Oh, gross. This is buggy.
So Ryan, I hear you you are, every time I talk to her, she is daily preparing for, there's some MMA stuff.
Yeah.
Daily preparing for the apocalypse.
Well, I'm trying to get...
I mean, I've never met anyone who's so obsessed with the world ending, and then she's like all geared up and...
I'm working on being geared up. I did just get from my, a gas mask and a machete, which I'm pretty excited about.
And a machete.
Now, I'm on Team Ryan with that. I went by this surplus store the other day and acquired about gas masks.
Did you really?
Yeah,
but
because
you might have another purpose for that gas
well,
mask,
it's murder, but I wanted... I wanted to know if a dirty bomb goes off in Los Angeles or something like that happens.
Oh, there's that movie coming out with the dirty bomb.
Oh, it already came out.
Or it already came out. Yeah, I just heard about it.
But
anyway.
do these gas masks actually work for that shit? I don't see how it would be possible. What kind of gas mask did you get?
The one that someone sent me off my Amazon wish list. And it doesn't come with instructions, so I really have to figure out how to use it.
Yeah. Because then it's just nothing but a hat.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool hat. I was thinking I could go as that episode in Doctor Who, the Are You My Mummy episode.
Right.
But no, I'm seriously concerned about the zombie apocalypse, and because I live downtown, which is already like living in the zombie apocalypse.
So if you go about 2 blocks from any direction, it turns into a
once you get
apocalypse.
outside of the core area. But my thing is, so Dan has lots of guns.
I'm from Florida, though. Florida, if you say that in California, they're like, "Oh, the guy's crazy." But in Florida, you're 14 years old.
Yeah.
You go, "Happy birthday! Here's a Smith & Wesson."
Yeah, which is what we're going to go shopping for.
Yeah.
And Dave Johnson has Sam.
He has a zip gun. He has a zip gun.
But besides the zip gun, he has what we're going to need to forage food from the Ralphs, which is he has samurai costumes, Batman and Superman samurai costumes that are made entirely out of trash, plastic trash cans.
Brian, you got to pull that up.
What is it?
He made Rubbermaid trash cans, and he turned it into a samurai outfit. And Rubbermaid somehow saw it, and they're like, "We're sending you free trash cans for the rest of your life. Just make shit."
What is that?
That's such
7
a yeah. There you go. Wow, I got free trash cans. This worked out perfectly.
Well, if we do get into murdering people, we might need those trash cans.
Rubbermaid samurai
costume.
Yeah.
It
should.
The first one is at 2007, maybe.
Probably.
Oh shit! If this is pretty sweet, even if it isn't it.
Let's see. Well, he's really. I mean, the guy Dave's an amazing artist.
So good.
But he could actually be like a costume designer if he wanted to be.
Yeah. Wow,
That's him right
pretty
there.
badass.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that. That's crazy.
And he wears that all the time. He'll wear that.
He'll wear it all the time.
No, he definitely he lives for Halloween. He.
Wow, that's made out of Rubbermaid?
It's all made out of trash cans.
That's crazy. Look at that. That's really
And every year he makes
a Hello Kitty on the hat.
Is that what he put there? He's got a little sense of humor.
And a pom-pom for the beard.
These are different than the ones. This is a different one than the ones that are in his apartment, right?
Yeah, he's got the Batman one. He made a Batman samurai costume.
Because there's a Batman and the Superman one in there right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So he has not one. He has multiple Rubbermaid samurai armor.
He'd have the armor for you, Ryan.
Well, we've been talking about making me. Now that I know he gets free trash cans, I'm gonna have to take that up with him and be like, "Bitch, hook up the trash cans."
Yeah, hook me
but
up.
no, we've been talking about making me one, but I'm trying to decide what do I want the superhero theme of my samurai trash can costume to be.
He made a Wonder Woman one, I think, for a friend of ours. Like it was a drink and draw.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Here's another one that looks like he did. And if you want to see this, his name...
Oh, yeah. I think he won that contest there at LACMA.
If you want to see his... what the hell is that?
He's a Venus flytrap.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That was Halloween.
Yeah.
Man.
And girls kept on wanting to get in there, and I'm like, oh, my God, this he's an operator.
Dave Johnson is an operator.
He is.
That's great.
Sassy
and then he gave the costume away to Jimmy Palmiotti. Who? Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I want to get him into our downtown zombie apocalypse survival crew. But do
you have a baseball bat with the spike coming out of it? That seems important.
I had to get rid of I had a whole bunch of machetes and baseball bats.
I love that.
But
you have machetes.
when I move, every time I move, because I usually move in my car, I always have to get rid of weapons and things.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I don't want to be pulled over driving through Texas with a machete.
No, actually, they wouldn't care. They could care less in Texas if you had the machete.
I don't know. I always get pulled over in Texas.
Yeah,
me and Texas don't get. I mess with Texas. And
you have been messing with Texas.
No, so Dan and I have been talking about me getting geared up for the apocalypse, and the next purchase is a Smith & Wesson 44 long barrel.
Now, I got to say that's kind of a kick to it, but I don't know, you're pretty tough. You got the muscles and everything.
I am 5'9" and 17% body fat with
you're a badass.
guns.
You don't need a gun. Just maul somebody. Now you said you were going to go to maybe the gym and learn some MMA.
Yes.
And
the next plan is to go to the gym and get the ability to punch people.
There's
in
a
the
tap out right there on Pico and Grand.
Yeah,
that's where I go.
I will be going there.
Yeah. And all the instructors are there are amazing. Have you ever gone, Brian, to 10th Planet or anything like that?
Oh my gosh, what is that? Can I touch it?
I don't do jiu-jitsu. I'm just too fat and gross for that. But no, I'm just too lazy for that. I have a bad knee, and it's just.
I have a bad knee.
Yeah, Eddie Bravo will grab that and
he'll work it.
Sink it in.
Do you guys collect toys? This is actually something Cliffy B sent me. This is the
awesome.
Gears of War toy.
Damn.
And it's pretty badass. But I still find myself wanting to buy things like this. I have to make myself not buy it, especially when I go to a comic book store. It's just very
I had to stop.
Addicting. Did you?
I used to, my house used to have just the whole bottom floor was just all comic book artwork, everything, and now it shrunk. Now it's only my office.
Oh.
And then really you start buying those toys. There's a comic book guy, Tim Townsend. He's a top inker on like mostly X-Men projects, and his house is almost it's like a museum. There's so many cool things out there, and it's artwork. That's a beautiful sculpt.
Yeah,
that thing's awesome. I'd be drawing that all day.
Yeah. Now, how did you ever get to the point where drawing hands was normal? Because I mean,
still tough.
They're still tough to you, or
that and bicycles are like the hardest thing.
Bicycles,
yeah, for some reason, I don't know. But hands are tough. It's a formula like anything. It's all just geometry, and then placing that geometry on other pieces of geometry.
I always sucked at drawing hands, so all my drawings always had like the hands behind their backs, or the hands crossed, or.
Well, there's some like comic book artists that are like notorious for like, oh god, I can't draw feet. So there's like clouds or dirt or dust always there, or they don't draw hands. Like you said, there's the hands are at their side, but you don't see them. And
there's
some people out there.
We've all got our weaknesses.
Yeah.
I can't cook rice. I can literally cook any.
That's your weakness. I can't cook rice.
I can cook anything else. I can take a recipe from like Bon Appetit or Gourmand magazine, and I can cook you like a fancy 6-course meal. I cannot do rice.
She makes great quiche.
Did you make? Yeah, I was making. Did you have the white truffle oil quiche?
I had
the mushroomy one.
I tried all your quiche.
Isn't she amazing? She's is
pretty cool.
She is like the most ideal woman in the whole entire room. Not only is she a badass hot chick.
I'm the only woman in the room.
Yeah. no. But she every time she comes on here, she's like, I'm cooking this meal for 16 people.
You hear a lot of girls like there's a lot of hot girls that go, I can cook really well, and you're like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
She actually really cooks great, and
awesome.
I couldn't believe like going into your apartment. We all went after something, and like you said, the place is decked out like a comic book.
Well, it's not
thing.
because I don't do toys.
And she's feeding you like great food. You're like, what? I can't leave. I can't leave.
That's my plan. I was going to lure someone attractive in there and tie them to piece of furniture and use them for like deep sexual purposes.
Ryan, who's your ideal man? Are you a nerdy? Do you chase nerds, or do you like jock guys?
I've been on here. We talked about how I was in a relationship up until Christmas.
Right.
I've been single for about 3 months now, and I have been trying to get out there and dating. It's been awful.
Brutal.
It's been so
3
awful.
months.
After Mr. I'm going to randomly take my pants off in front of your friends. And the end of that story was that guy that I was at Beatrice Madhouse, who I made out with at the club. So I go home with my best friend. Apparently, he went home with 3 porn stars and banged all of them.
Wow.
At the same time. And I was like, what? Not boyfriend material. Not boyfriend material.
Probably not.
So,
friendly guy though.
My 2 long-term relationships were both with guys with advanced math degrees, because that really turns me on.
Oh,
so kind of nerdy.
That's right. I remember
that's
this.
hot.
I do like nerds. I mean,
Asians then, I guess.
I have dated Asians. I have, and not all of them have small penises. I'll have you know. Some of them have quite large penises.
Really?
Oh.
Takeshi Kaneshiro, that's my dream man. If he's
it's because they have no hair. They have no pubes.
Yeah, so it's just an optical illusion.
Yeah, it's just an optical illusion.
Okay, my vagina can feel width. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Noted.
Noted.
You have a very tall vagina.
Yeah.
It's not tall. Actually, I don't like. I like. I don't like
classically tall vagina, of course.
No, I don't like huge penises. I like to have sex a lot, and if it's really big, you can't. It's too much friction. It hurts. Right. It hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'd rather do it twice a day than do it like once a day and then like get a UTI.
Yeah.
urinary tract infection for you 14-year-olds.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. I was like, never heard it abbreviated in such a way.
My cat had a urinary tract infection for a while, and I tried to give it cranberry juice, but it's really hard to give a cat cranberry juice by force. And so if your cat gets a UTI, just take it to the vet.
Yeah.
Oh, that bug's right here in front of me now.
Hold on, I got to see this thing.
So I am on the hunt for a hot nerd, preferably over 5'10", because I'm 5'9", and I do like to wear high heels.
So
Must be into. Actually, I remember. So I used to work as a stripper at a club in New Orleans, and I picked up a guy there who I dated for 2 years. Worked in video games, and we bonded over the fact that he watched both Battlestar Galactica and Gossip Girl.
Oh,
wow.
God.
Yeah.
I was actually. Oh, I'm sorry. The camera was on me. I was actually into Gossip Girl because the girl that I dated was into it. So I actually watched that whole bullshit for 3 years.
The first couple of seasons were like
Not bad.
I totally jerked off to that show.
Really?
Wow. Chance Crawford.
Well, okay, so I watched.
There
So
you go.
in my early 20s, I was an adult DVD critic, so I watched so much porno.
Critic.
Yeah, no, I had a radio
You're paid
show
to
on.
masturbate.
I had a radio show on Playboy where I'd sit there and I'd like talk about like camera angles and editing.
Very technical. Going this.
I'd
I
be
can't
like,
watch this. The
I don't
camera
know
angle
if these
sucks.
performers have a lot of chemistry together, but I thought the production value. Yeah, so that's one of the things I got really nerdy on. But
So
so
you
now
watch-
I've seen so much porno, my brain's burned out, and I know so many people in porno that like it's like watching people and you just know like they're my friends. I don't want to watch them like get it in. It's weird. So now I jerk off to like I'm currently masturbating to Farscape, which I really like because everyone's so tall on that show.
Now, what do you do? Put it on pause? I mean, how does that work?
No, I just let it play.
You just Farscape going on and.
Because there's all that sexy chemistry between the human and the what is she, the Aaron and Ben Brewster's the actor. I can't remember what his character's name is, but yeah, there's all this sexy chemistry. And for me, like, because I just don't want to see people get it in. I want to see people like being all like chemistry up in each other, like getting all like close together, mashed together in like a tight space,
And
having things being all dramatic.
And they have scales or something.
I am into monster rape, so don't judge me.
Now wait a minute. Do you ever watch? I watch mostly reality shows for now, but it's Ultimate Fighter, and the other one. So you think you can dance?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, but it's I don't know. It's a great show. I got a crush on Kat Deely. So.
Is it the accent?
It's the accent. You know what? Actually,
Do you want to tell her that you're naughty in like that cute little accent? Can anyone do a British accent?
I can, but it's probably
No, you gotta do the nice posh one and talk about someone being bad or naughty.
Yeah.
You remember my friend Charlie came? She has that great accent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So my friend Rita, she's also an artist. I don't know if you know her or not. Rita Lux.
Great name.
Totally great name.
She does a really cool style of art. It reminds me of Mia Kwan. I don't know if you guys know her.
Yeah.
She just opened up a website and she's trying something different because as a lot of artists, you don't make much money as an artist, and so she's trying to do the digital selling digital art and doing things like that. But she just opened up a website, and I really
cool
support
looking.
her.
That's
She currently has been working for a Barbie,
Uh-oh.
and her parents both worked for Disney. And here's the Kardashians. Isn't that hilarious?
Cute.
But I love her
princesses.
style. She has a really cool style. Looks
like she got some good clients there.
Yeah.
The Westfield Mall.
It's very like Marie-Lauren Sen, but
Look at
Do you
her.
know
this decade.
You know what's really cute? At Drink and Draw, Ryan brings like a little coloring book, and she
Flux.
brings Disney crayons. And they're like Disney princess crayons.
They are. I'm not an
So
artist.
you love this girl.
No, I do love this girl. I'm like splooshing in my pants right now.
Gosh.
Yeah,
I'm getting sassy.
she's got a really cool style. It's
beautiful.
different
It's
and
like fashion illustration meets Disney there.
yeah, and well, like I said, her parents both were old school Disney artists, like from the Disney, and so she's having two parents.
There's Elena right there as Snow White.
Yeah.
Snow White.
Having your parents work for Disney must have
Yeah.
been an amazing
You have no
childhood.
choice. You're going to be an artist.
Yeah. And so she has a blog and everything. Anyways, check her out. She's it's Rita Lux, RITALUX.com. And just follow her. I really like her. She's a nice little girl, and she's just trying to make it. And so she just opened up her website.
She's really talented, and she's kind of diversified there too. She
Yeah.
can draw in a lot of different styles.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, guys, I think this has been a good night.
I think so.
Good time. Have you ever thought about taking the drink and draw thing to the because I think if you snipped off this draw something right now, you might be able to make this thing
We have a drink and draw app. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
we own the trademark. That's like something.
Oh, that's great.
And there's drink and draws pretty much in every single city. It's all over the world.
Go to a drink and draw near you.
And what's the website for that drink and draw?
It's just drinkanddraw.com. I don't. You know what? I don't know. Go to. We have a blog and we have the website, and the website is like down for work right now.
Oh, it's been suspended.
It's been suspended. That's even worse.
Oh no.
Oh, you know what? Somebody spammed it, and they thought we were spamming, and so they shut it down temporarily. But we do have a blog and a Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, it's the original Drink and Draw.
Wait, you also have a MySpace page.
That's how we started. It was,
really?
Yeah. There was no. I don't even know if Facebook was around.
Yeah, so if you actually if you just Google Drink and Draw, a lot of shit comes up. And you have them in your probably have them in your city if it seems like it's pretty big.
Yeah, there's one in every big city, and there's usually one comic book guy or another who's kind of heading it, and it's so casual. No, there's no like. It's different levels of artists. Some are great, some people are just fans and they just like drawing and hanging out with the comic book people. Or they just might like drinking.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Here's
Big fan of drinking.
NBC did a little thing. About
really?
Here. Yeah, Friends Let Friends Drink and Draw in downtown LA.
What's that in her hand there?
That looks like a drink.
There I am.
Oh, let's take.
No, you know what? That is the worst interview I've ever.
Oh, yeah, right. Then we'll look at that.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. It's me being uncomfortable and then like nervous and like flexing my forearm for some reason.
Yeah.
That's
You
exciting.
want to show your drawing muscles.
Yeah,
You're like,
go.
look at these puppies.
Oh, there's our Twitter page.
Yeah, your Twitter page is drink_and_draw, which is.
Yeah, somebody else stole our.
You should have just put D&D. That wouldn't have been taken.
No, that'd never be taken.
But yeah, check that out. That seems awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out. That
Cool.
sounds fucking awesome. Ryan, what's new with you? What are you doing What's new with you? What's coming up?
What is new that's coming up that I'm allowed to talk about? Nothing. My website is awesome. Sometimes I masturbate live, but there's videos of me masturbating and having sex with the ladies and lots of pictures.
Do you have your own webcam, or do you do like the Stream8?
I do it through Stream8, but it's
do you have Gold Show?
It's on my website. I don't do that shit. I hate webcamming. I mean, it's fun if people actually show up, but the thing is, I hate doing. Like, I wish people would come and talk to me about nerdy stuff, and I could jerk off at the same time.
Right.
Because that would be awesome. I'd be like, ooh, you like. You like that sci-fi show too? So do I. Let me take my pants off.
That would be the way a guy starts talking about Farscape, you'd be in heaven.
This is also the way to hit on me.
Yeah. Now you can have your legion of fans going, all right.
Sup?
Farscape DVD sales spike.
So I was in a horror movie last year called Girls Gone Dead, and I actually made it to page 97 in the script, which is quite a feat, I will have you know.
They kept you around.
They did keep me around, and I only got topless once. Maybe twice.
Maybe that's why they kept you around.
No, there's other girls that got topless a lot more than I did. And I didn't even have a love scene. It was kind of awesome. So that'll be out June 17th, and it just premiered, and I think you can probably steal it on the internet. And I have a really awesome fight scene. So that's called Girls Gone Dead. That's coming out. Most times on my website, my Twitter, I've got like stuff that's brewing that I can't say anything about yet. It's so frustrating.
Is that you planking?
That's me. Okay, so that's after Gamescom in Germany. This is last summer.
Everybody's planking. I just don't
It's
get it.
breading nowadays. You want to bread your cat. That's better.
What is that?
What's a
even
breading?
mean?
I'll show you. You guys didn't see South Park this week?
I don't have the TV.
I've heard people talking about breading and everything.
I tried
but
owling
I have
for
no
a
idea.
minute, but that was kind of awkward.
Owling.
That's where you perch.
Yes.
And
I could do that pretty.
This table.
Can you
Can I
owl
owl
on
this
the
table?
table?
It will break. That table actually really sucks. It's really shitty.
Yeah, it's ready to go. There's tape over here. And
Then I will not owl.
yeah.
But yeah, that's me planking. So I went to Germany for Gamescom, and with THQ. Oh, that's what's coming out that I can officially announce.
Right.
I got the phone call this week. So there is going to be a Penthouse DLC with Saints Row, which is my favorite video game, Saints Row the Third.
Wow.
And you are going to be able to play me in the game.
No
Yeah.
That's
So you probably heard it here first because the official announcement hasn't come out. I just got the official phone call that it's actually happening.
You're allowed to talk about it.
They didn't tell me I couldn't talk about it. I could be in trouble, but they've already made the character.
Your account's going to be suspended now too.
So so if you don't own Saints Row the Third, you should, because it's awesome.
It is awesome.
I play that. That's the game that I'm playing right now because I'm really bad. I tried to play Skyrim, but it's too hard.
Xbox or PS?
Xbox 360.
Okay.
I love my Connectimals. Don't judge me.
What? What are you talking about?
Connectimals. It's like stepping inside of like a Lisa Frank cartoon, and I just got Connectimals with bears. So I can have a pet bear in the virtual reality. It basically, okay, imagine like, you remember Tamagotchis?
Right.
It's a more complicated. I'm obsessed with like Tamagotchi-like games. Like I've got like all those like Tiny Zoo, Tiny Village on my iPad, and I also play Connectimals on my Xbox because I'm not responsible enough for a real pet, so I like to have like digital pets. So I don't feel bad when I go away on vacation and ignore them and they die.
Well, here's breading. This is you take bread and you put it around your cat's head, which
that's insane.
Which is the newest planking. And South Park did a whole thing about like these things.
Who comes up with breading? I mean, what's the?
I don't know.
There's
The
one
internet.
picture of somebody putting bread on a cat, and everyone's like,
It happened on Fucom
I got
first.
some bread. And I have a cat.
I think it's
Let's
because
make
it's
this
easy
happen.
to do, and bread doesn't cost too much.
No. I'm violently allergic to cats, so I won't bread anything.
I love cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm more of a cat person.
Yeah, they're good.
I like cats, and I like So You Think You Dance. This is there you go. So I'm definitely a nerd.
But your wife's hot, so you're living the dream.
You mean his beard is hot?
Yeah, my beard is hot. No, she is a hottie. She should dress up for Comic-Con.
She should.
She's like our booth girl. Whenever she comes to the shows with me, the guys are just kind of standing around. They're like, oh, they could care less about my drawing.
Yeah,
They're
I
just
remember.
They're just staring at her.
Yeah, because she's spectacular. Yeah, living the dream, sweet ride, drawing Conan, and this other awesome project. Yeah, just go to my Twitter if you know what's going on with me. That's at Ryan Keely.
And you post some interesting pictures on there. I've seen. It's interesting.
It's my flow of id.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I post pictures of Batman, and you have a different style to you.
Wow, that's so awesome that you're in Saints Row, because that's actually a really
cool.
good game. You know, THQ is kicking ass because not only do they have like they're doing great with the UFC, Saints Row, but they were actually hurting for a while. They like very close to bankruptcy.
They laid off like a huge swath of the company a few months ago.
Did you get to pick your costume or help work with them on how you look in the game?
I don't know what they're gonna make me wear. The pictures I saw, I was wearing like a schoolgirl skirt and a penthouse tank top. Though I will say that if you see any of the pictures either from Comic-Con or from Gamescom when I'm in the purple latex dress or the purple latex corset, those were things that I picked for myself. Because when they did the photo shoot, the dress that they put me in, they had me like literally like jumping around in guns for all the action shots.
Oh wow!
And I was in this zip front dress, and it was like a movie because the whole zip front dress just like burst open. So I needed to get a new dress for Comic-Con, so that's why I got purple latex. I hope they put my purple latex dress in the game because that dress was amazing.
That's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, it was great. I can't wait to do another one of these. And if you guys at home have any suggestions for us, please contact Ryan or me.
We need a name.
And we need a name.
Who's your next guest, Ryan?
It will probably be Jeff Johnson.
Jeff Johnson.
Jack Johnson.
Jeff Johnson.
You should bring Joe in for that one. They'd have a field day.
Actually,
with
Jeff
all
Johnson. Yeah. Anyway,
Who's Jeff Johnson?
Jeff Johnson's another one. He used to draw comic books, and now he works and does animation like Justice League.
Oh, wow.
He's a storyboard guy over there, but he's also one of the co-founders of Drink and Draw.
He's great.
Cool.
Awesome guy. One of my best friends. That was the guy. Known each other for like 20 years or something.
Awesome to talk to.
Yeah.
Has seen Dan's junk like more times than he would care to recount.
Yeah, more times
I'm
than
gonna ask him
Elena. More
questions.
times than my wife has. It's weird. I'm in love with him.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm glad I came out here. This is great.
So yeah, me and Joey Diaz are going to hit the Midwest. So if you want to see us in Ohio or Pennsylvania, we have 3 dates. May 17th will be in Columbus, Ohio. May 18th in Cleveland, Ohio. May 19th in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you go to DeathSquad.tv, you'll see the Death Squad mini tour at the beginning. So guys,
Awesome.
I'll see you guys around. Thank you for listening, Ryan. It's been awesome. I think it went
see you
well.
on the Twitters.
Yes.
On the Twitter.
We'll close out with some MC Chris remix with Mario Brothers.
Cool.
All right.
I spell word with the 3 names MC. All the rappers flow weak like when the unit